Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 125 today, and it is a very, very important day. Now, the reason for that is because this first game against Wolfsburg is our opportunity to stay in Europe in some form after Christmas. Now, that's important both for us, confidence-wise, for the players, but also for our bank balance and budgets. Because we are in big debt, we're hemorrhaging money, and without European football post-Christmas, I don't see that we get anyone in January. So that's going to be important. We've also got to try and keep ground in the Scottish Premiership. Every time we look like we're taking that next step, we then have a disappointment again. So St Johnstone at home, a massive game in that regard, 5 days after this Wolfsburg clash. If you're looking forward to both of them and are enjoying the season, please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. We are starting to find some form from a few of our bigger players now, but it's not enough. We're too inconsistent. So let's go and have a look at the schedule. I mean, the one good thing you can see below us is we might be a top 2 side this year. Even with games in hand, Dundee and Hibernian are not getting too near us. So as long as we're consistent, we'll be alright. But Celtic's still the favourites. 4 points behind, 2 games in hand. But it could have been a very different story. Let's have a look at what I mean. So you were last with me for Hibernian and Alexois, 2 defeats there. The rest of the month was fantastic. We sort of found this style where we can go a little bit more defensive later on if we've got a lead. And that has worked really well. It did against Kilmarnock, it did against Krasnodar, and it did against Celtic. And on some occasions, it actually gives us a threat on the break as well. So we played Ross County away from home, a 4-2 win there. A hat-trick for Henderson and 1 for Di Francesco. Again, we got pegged back from 1-0 up to 2-1 down. We were able to come back pretty well in that one. At home to Kilmarnock, we won 5-0, 2 for Batista and 1 each for Di Francesco, Griffith and Gertson. Followed by a 1-0 win against Krasnodar, a crucial result. We dominated the match. We had about 25 chances. But Imam Griffith got the one crucial goal. We then managed to beat Celtic in the Old Firm. It was an incredible game. We sat behind the ball, we played cautious, and we just broke on them brilliantly. They did give us a scare late on. When any team goes attacking against us, we really struggle. But Batista, Henderson, Di Francesco, the heroes, a 3-2 win we finished with. That meant that we were in control of the title race. So what did we do? We followed it up at our former club Dundee with a defeat. We went 2-0 down at half-time. I kid you not, at half-time they'd had 2 shots, 2 on target. We'd had about 13, 8 on target and hadn't scored. Martinelli got one back in the second half, but it wasn't enough. However, we bounced back against Hamilton. Again, it required a late show. Di Francesco's first half goal cancelled out by Wilkie for the basement side. But in the last 15, we went all out and Gertson got a brace and Batista scored 1-2. So we're in decent shape, but we haven't quite got that consistency yet. But that doesn't really matter today. If we go and have a look at the Europa League Group B, there is something really crucial going on. Because not only have we got a chance of getting into the Europa Conference after Christmas, if Krasnodar lose or if we better their result or match it, we've actually got a chance finishing second as well, which could be huge. So either option I'll take, as long as we don't end up bottom. And ideally, if you want certainty, I'd rather Alexois just go 3 or 4 up straight away against Krasnodar, and then we'll take 3rd place happily. We get the result though, doesn't really matter. Let's go and have a look at our lineup for today via the England screen, because I just want to show you those 2 results quickly as well. We played our last 2 Nations League game, a brilliant 4-1 win in Germany, and Folwell ruthless on the break getting 4 there, and then a 3-2 defeat away at Portugal. It was such a shame, because if we go and have a look at the table, that goal difference would have been equal if you take away the 2 deficit. So unfortunately, we go out of the Nations League, but no relegation. Germany go down and we stay in there for another year. So good progression as this England side changes and transitions. But a few of those experienced boys still in there. And Germany, the whipping boys of the group in the end. Let's go and have a look at the fixtures for today though. It's Rangers v Wolfsburg we turn our attention to. And let's go and have a look at the lineup we're going to pick. Of course, we heavily rotated for Hamilton. We're going to do the same again now. And then we've got to beg we don't have a European hangover next week. The game being Tuesday instead of Sunday should help. But it won't matter if we've lost in this one. Okay, so here's our 11 for the match. We've got Fangero in goal. Fevrier's rebooked his place at right back ahead of the skipper Reed, who's been pretty average this season. Mwanga at left back with Burns and Harwood Bellis at centre half. Small goal back in the midfield, just to slightly fresher legs than Martinelli. Palumbo alongside him. And then Griffith, Batista and Gertson, the attacking 3. behind Kieran Henderson up front. Good subs if we need them. We're getting players back to fitness now. So we've got the likes of Di Francesco, Hadji and Martinelli on the bench, as well as Reed and Bartholomew defensively. So it is probably the strongest squad we've had available all season. There's one bit of transfer news our director of football's pulled off. I'm really excited to show you it, but I've got to save it for after this game because I'm a little bit too nervous. Let's go and get into it. As long as we match Krasnodar's result, we're in Europe after Christmas. And here we go. From our last fixture against Wolfsburg, we know James Rodriguez is in charge. We know our former Tottenham player, Gonzalo Sina, is at right back. But we've just got to try and be at our best. We're going to drop to a balanced mentality. We're going to try and keep things a bit cautious. It's worked better in Europe and when we've been trying to hang on to something. And at the moment, unless Krasnodar get a win, a draw's a good result for us. So let's go and get into this game and try and get through. Anything will count, whether it's Europa League or Europa Conference after Christmas. I don't really mind, as long as we're still in it. So let's get the latest scores up. I think that's going to be more important as Gertsen comes down the left, takes on his fullback, gets past him. We wouldn't mind an early lead here. Gertsen into the box unopposed. He tried to bend it into the corner. You could see what he was doing. Just didn't quite get enough on it. Unfortunately, it remains goalless as Batista gives it to Palumbo. He loses out to the centre forward who dropped back in. Sina goes long over the top, but it's only as far as Finley Burns. Brings it through to midfield, into Griffith. The right winger takes on his fullback. Can he get the ball in? Finds small goal. Oh, he's been in poor form recently, but we're not going to care now. Kasper Smallgoal with the finish right into the side netting. And it's Rangers 1, Wolfsburg 0. And it's turning into one of those famous European nights. Unfortunately, the latest score's all over the shop. It's not really working out as normal, as Moanga gives the ball to Palumbo. Let's keep our destiny in our own hands. We wouldn't mind a second here, and we've started very well. We deserve it at the moment. Finley Burns has the ball at centre half. No real options in midfield, so goes out to Fevrier, the right back. He plays in Griffith down the line. Through ball to Kieran Henderson. Beats the keeper to it, but the angle was just too acute in the end, and it goes out the outside of the post. Out for a goal kick. It remains 1-0, but Rangers brilliant so far. However, I do want to just sort of temper expectations here. We say in nearly every game this season we've been brilliant. And we've dominated the stats, we've dominated the shots, the possession, whatever else. We've lost so many of them by conceding 1 or 2 silly chances and letting the goal in. So I'm not going to get excited yet. As it stands, the other game must be a draw because Lexois are on 7, Krasnodar 5. Hibs are winning their game as well. I'm not sure where they are in their group. 3rd place by the looks of it. So let's see who comes out on top as Eckhart gets the ball on the left. It's nicked by the midfielder Batista. Has played really well into Kieran Henderson. Got to score. Oh, it's straight at the keeper. How on earth has he missed that? It was a gilt-edged chance. Look at the stats at half-time again. It deserves to be more than 1-0. This is the story of our season. We've had stats like this so many times and we've ended up getting pegged back. So we're going to tell the lads to keep it up. They've been absolutely brilliant. If you don't take your chances, football can be a very cruel game. As Batista gets it on the right again, loses out in possession. And we have got a lot of tired legs, so I do worry more about the second half. The back pass is cleared by Wolfsburg, only as far as Moanga. There's a 1-2 with Palumbo, back to Harwood Bellis. Chance to come over halfway, gives it to Fevrier. Back to Harwood Bellis again, into Smallgoal. Got support, but instead goes alone. He's possessed today, Smallgoal. Gives it to Batista, into Henderson. Wonderful goal. Brilliant interchange and passing. And not only that, when Henderson got his first chance finish, first touch as well it was, instead of going the way the keeper expected, just passed it to his near post. And it fooled him. 2-0 it is, but now we've got to defend well. Gudens comes forward. This is Rangers in a nutshell this season. Dominate the game, score a goal, and then give away one from the centre kick. And Moanga does well to win it back. This is the best performance of the season by a long way. And we've had some good ones so far. Henderson gets in down the left-hand side. A third would surely wrap it up. Henderson's going alone. Can't get the shot on target. Wonderful football from Kieran Henderson. And he looks like a different player today. Let's have a look at the group. They're still level in the other game by the looks. Harwood Bellis finds Smallgoal in midfield. It's all Rangers. Switch have played a Gertsen. What's happened to the defender's shirts? We're going to VAR for a penalty. We haven't seen this for months. It happened early with Breakin with the invisible shirts. And now we're back as the back four are wearing black and the rest of the team are wearing green. But he's given a penalty. It's going to be Fangero, the goalkeeper. He's the best penalty taker at the club. It's not me just having a goof or anything. His penalty taking rating's 11 and he puts it in the bottom corner Thiago Vanguero, the keeper. And he has made it count. 3-0 to Rangers. The keeper scored a pen. We are in dreamland. An hour on the clock, and we can almost start to think about resting people. Now we've just got to wait to see if Lexois beat Krasnodar, and whether it'll be Europa League or Europa Conference. But we'll definitely have one. As we're back with 20 minutes to go, Fevrier picking the ball up on the right-hand side, gives it inside to Small Goal, had a brilliant game but gave the ball away there. Long kick forward though. The centre-forward's now in a black shirt as well. The substitutes are. It's all changing at the moment. A bizarre glitch in the match engine as Palumbo puts it through to Batista, into Gertsen. Oh, this is a joy to watch. What a performance from Glasgow Rangers. I don't want to make the subs too early because I don't want anything risking this. And while we're playing like this, I don't really want to change it. As the centre-forward picks it up for Wolfsburg. He's come on and he's already got a knock. Griffith forces him backwards to Dolling. Lexois have taken a lead. We're dropping into the Europa Conference as it stands. Krasnodar held out for 75 minutes. But unfortunately we dropped to third as Al Hassan gives it to Knight. I mean, on the flip side, it might give us a better chance to win it. Certainly a chance to improve our coefficient for the next year. It could be a blessing in disguise as Eckhart goes wide to Dolling. Gives it to Eckhart again. We don't want a grandstand finish. Don't let them get one here. Back to Kaufman, the centre-half. Long ball forward, well intercepted by Harwood Bellis. Small Goal gives it to Fevrier. To Small Goal. What a performance he's put in today. Someone who's been so poor for a couple of months now. As Fevrier gives the ball away. It's not good play here. Michel gets in. We've given them a chance. Left side of the box. Cuts it back to Eckhart. Vanguero lets it through him. Another mistake from the keeper. Another bit of poor play defensively. And this is Rangers' season. We've dominated matches galore. And I know we've been lucky that we've got 3 in the bank this time. But 1 chance, 1 goal for Wolfsburg. Every time we concede a shot, we look like conceding. However, I am going to go and make some substitutions with just a few minutes left. Gertsen is going to be replaced by, I think, Hadji. And we're going to go to that more defensive shape. Palumbo is the man I sort of want to take off, but Small Goal's getting tired now. So let's bring on Martinal. And what we'll do, we've done it in previous games. Batista drops in as the playmaker, Palumbo as the deep liar. He'll go into that role there. Batista will be a advanced playmaker on support. Hadji becomes a winger on support, and we just drop into a 4-1-4-1. We just try and keep it nice and tidy, to be honest. I'm going to drop the fullbacks to defend because Wolfsburg are pushing men forward. And that's where our mistake came from the goal. The third sub, I'm going to leave it a couple more minutes and then we'll make a time wasting one. But a really good display so far. We just don't want to ruin it late on. 7 minutes to go. Fevrier throws into Harwood Bellis. Maybe they're getting fooled by the extra kit on the pitch. They completely lost it there as Batista gets it into Henderson. A fourth would certainly make me feel more comfortable. Kieran Henderson trying to go alone. Just wide of the post. It was a wonderful effort. I'm going to take off Burns now. He's going to be replaced by Bartholomew. There's 4 minutes plus stoppages to go. And it's been a wonderful Rangers display. Martinal picks it up, the substitute. Goes wide to Fevrier. He gives it to Palumbo. Obviously dropped into that more defensive midfield role. And he gives it back to Fevrier again. They're just working their way back towards their own goal. Looking for the right opportunity. Long ball forward from Harwood Bellis. Nobody's there. A little bit lacking in composure. Asina gives it to Knight down the line. A second here and things get very interesting. And I wouldn't rule it out the way we've defended as Knight gets the ball in. Mwanga wins a tackle. Falls for Eckhart though. Through to Michel. Skins the defender. Vanguero makes the save. We just look so vulnerable at the back. We have absolutely dominated this match and still nearly had a grandstand finish. As it is, it doesn't matter. We beat Wolfsburg 3-1. And we're through to what I think is the Europa Conference last 32. As I presume Lexois held on against Krasnodar. We'll be back in a moment for St Johnstone and hopefully to find out what competition we're in. After Lexois did hang on for a 1-0 win against Krasnodar, we are back one day before St Johnstone for the Europa Conference first knockout round draw. But what I've got to say is turmoil off the pitch is always following us here, and this is the thing that's making it most difficult. We've got talk of a takeover just before the January transfer window. We've got a youth intake preview with a very poor crop of players. And now we've just got to hope we get a good draw here. I will talk you through the one glimmer of hope in a minute when we come back for St Johnstone. But for now, we need this to be good. I'm looking at the sides left. There are a few big ones in there. However, there's a lot of winnable games. I mean, look, TNS in the last 32. I've got no words. We just want to avoid the likes of Schalke and PSV and Galatasaray, basically. We're out first. It should be a very quick and painless process. We have got the agonising wait, the FM Classic, FC Groningen. Probably not one of the ties we wanted. Look at that, TNS Slovan Liberec. We would have taken both of those. Groningen, a good side, 6th in the Dutch league. Their key player is probably better than ours. That is not a good sign. Well, that's going to be a difficult tie. We're not going to worry about that for a couple of months. Let me show you someone who will be able to feature in that though. If we go to the transfers, our director of football has found this guy from Barcelona. 17-year-old Landry Ambassa. Now, he's a striker, which is a position we need. He can play off either wing. But look at him. He's brilliant. 2.5-star ability already. Mentally, he's okay. Physically, he's good. Technically, he's got all the key attributes. So, I'm really impressed he's got him. And for so cheap as well, he looks like a proper good youngster. I'm just looking. Yeah, he did have a minimum fee release. That's why they've managed to get him. So, Landry Ambassa is on the way. We're looking forward to working with him. We've got to get through a few games first. We'll be back in a moment for St Johnstone. Fingers crossed, no European hangover this time. Well, yet more problems off the pitch. Carlos Martins out with a hernia for 4 to 5 weeks, just as we were getting our strongest squad available. But let's go and get into the fixtures. Celtic, of course, won their game at the weekend, so they are now just 1 point behind with a game in hand. The others slipping up, though, so I feel like top 2 is definite this year. And if we can get into the Champions League, that changes everything financially. But let's not worry about that for now, because at the moment, we've got a very tough St Johnstone side to face. They've still got Ali McCann, who was an absolute legend for us in our Dundee United save, our live stream series. But let's see what team we can put out. Fevrier's had a knock. Tempted to bring Murray Reid back in, and in fact I will for this one. The rest of the defence is fine. I mean, in midfield, I'm just looking if there's one we can rotate a little bit. I feel like Palumbo's the man to drop out, but he seems to be the ever-present. So I'm just going to leave the rest as it is. Maybe Di Francesco for Griffith. No, we're too much weaker. So same 11, same 18, just Murray Reid switching for Fevrier. Let's go and get into it. St Johnstone at home, we need to be ruthless again. Or we could have another one of those games. We've had it against Kilmarnock. We've had it against Aberdeen. We had it in the Cup to an extent against Hibs. We've had it in the Europa League as well. We've got to be on point regularly, consistently, not just when we want to be. We know Ali McCann's starting. There's a few other good players in there. But let's go and get into the first half. We want to pick up where we left off against Wolfsburg. Probably our best performance of the season. And see if we can back it up at Ibrox again. Let's really give these fans something to cheer about. And let's make ourselves a big contender in the title race. We've got an opportunity here. As Robertson clears downfield, Reid intercepts it. Kieran Henderson finds Gertson. Into Henderson again. This would be the perfect start. But he hits the post in the second minute. You've got to score those. It's a clear-cut opportunity. Unfortunately, hit the woodwork as Batista takes the corner kick. Headed away at the front post. And Mwanga will chase it. Considine gets there first. However, Rangers let St Johnstone off the hook. And they're back again as Finley Burns has it as centre-half. Alongside him is Harwood Bellis. Brings the ball forward, no real opposition to his possession there, though gives it away to Clarkson. McCann downfield. These are the positions we get ourselves in where we end up losing these home games. We give away 1 or 2 silly chances in behind. We've always got a slip up in us, and that's where it costs us. So Gertson gets Henderson in behind again. Second big chance of the match. This time too easy for the keeper. I'm not sure why he was trying to go near post there. The keeper manages to tip it wide. Batista puts the corner in. And again, headed away by the first man. Now St Johnstone can counter with a 2-on-2. This is where we're weak. We give away so many silly chances. And in the end, Palumbo back to make the tackle. But it's a corner kick out of absolutely nothing. 10 minutes gone. 2 great chances wasted by Rangers. And it's starting to look like it might be deja vu again. We really need to get on the score sheet. As we've got a throw on the right-hand side for Murray Reid. Nearly 20 gone now. Reid picks it up from the 1-2 and he's got a chance to cross. We are better from these wide areas. Reid into Henderson. That's better. Henderson's so much better when he doesn't have time to think about his finish. When it's instinctive. When it's jumping for a header. When it's just throwing a foot or something. He looks a proper class act. His movement's good. His pace is brilliant. And Kieran Henderson gives us the lead. 25 gone at 1-0 Rangers. Now we just need a clean sheet. And with 8 shots on target, it's still only 1-0. Not for long, no. Gertsen puts a wicked free kick in with 5 minutes to the break. Palumbo heads it, just glances it into the far corner. And it's 2-0, and it should be game over. I mean, we've conceded 2 so many times this season, I don't want to say it yet. But it's been a pretty good display again. 18 shots, 9 on target. And we're possibly unfortunate it's only 2. Into the second half we go. Let's make sure we keep it up, as we've got another set piece in a dangerous position. About 30 yards out. It's going to be Gertsen to take it right-footed. Just wide of the post. A little bit too much curl on it. But another warning sign for the visitors. We're absolutely dominant at the moment. And we're at our free-flying best. But then it always happens. Our best player, Morten Gertsen, is injured. He's going to be replaced by Di Francesco. We're going to put Griffith out to the left. You can never just have a whole episode that's smooth sailing. So now we've got back to our best performances. We've picked up 2 injuries. Martin's in between the games, Gertsen in this one. We've got a potential takeover in the window, which will stop signings coming in. We're hemorrhaging money. There's a takeover talk, of course, still. And we got a tough draw in the Europa Conference. It can never just be an easy day at the office. As St Johnstone have got a throw on the right. I'm not going to make the changes just yet. You know my superstitions on those. As Clarkson goes back to McDonald. Long ball forward, which Burns intercepts. A third goal to wrap it up would be lovely. Griffith runs forward, unopposed with the ball. No one closing him down. He gets all the way to the edge of the box. And his shot's comfortably wide. We're going to take Batista off for a rest. He's going to be replaced by Martinal. And who else can we take off? Maybe one of the centre mids? I'm feeling Palumbo or Smorgol. Let's take Palumbo off. Martinal can go deep line playmaker. Griffith number 10. In fact, it doesn't actually matter which way round they are. But I will have Griffith further forward. And then on the left wing, we'll go for Hadji or Fevrier. You know what? Let's go for Hadji, because it's comfortably won. And he's someone who doesn't play so much. So he'll drop to a support duty. We're just going to keep contained now. We want to make sure we get this victory. It's been a really good display. But how have we only got 2? Martinal puts a long ball into the box. We've got 3 now. Iman Griffith with a brilliant glancing header again. It is a big concern to me that despite the dominance from open play, we're only scoring from set pieces and headers into the box. But there we go. It's a 3-0 win and we can't complain. I know Celtic have still got it in their hands, but we are keeping the pressure on. 4 clear with 2 games in hand. They've now got to push forward. They've got to win both games to go top. And that's the sort of pressure we've got to keep on them. We've got to make them want to slip up. As Augustin finds Ali McCann, had very little influence on this game. To Padarif down the left. Through ball in. Mohamed's got there. Good save, Fangero. But again, we always give away a chance in behind. Every match we seem to do it. Mohamed will take a corner kick. In swinging delivery from the right footer towards the back post. Headed just over the bar. Comfortable win it looks like it's going to be for us. And we stay top of the league. I know Celtic have still got those extra games. But I'm really pleased with where we are. Considering the games we've had, the slip-ups we've had, we've bounced back really well. Now we've just got to hope the takeover doesn't clash with the window. And this Gertsen injury isn't too bad. Oh my words. It happens every time there's hope. Every time there's optimism. 2 months out with a dislocated shoulder. You never get a smooth episode, do you? You never get a fully good one. So we're going to skip through to the end of January. Our last game in January is Celtic. Our first game in February is Hibs. I mean, it's the perfect end to the transfer window, isn't it? Based on Gertsen's injury, we're going to need signings, but we haven't got the money. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. If you want to find out and you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it. Our best performance of the season, followed by another smooth one, followed by disasters on and off the pitch. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. There's daily videos from 2 long-term stories as our Builder Nation is hotting up too. It's going to be a massive summer and season coming up in that one, and fingers crossed the other clubs can take the next step. You can check out the Twitch channel and all the other playlists in the eye above. Please do give us a follow over there for regular live streams. And I'll see you next time. I hope for transfer action, but also for a big old firm clash. A reunion with our former club, it's all happening there. See you next time to find out how we get on.